Holy, oh my God, you gotta be choking me. What are we doing? What are we doing? Jesus fucking. And we've thrown it away. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rave Green TV. And this is going to be your review of the match against the Portland Timbers. And I mean, if you're tuning in, you're probably not happy about what happened because the Sounders blew it. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it. The Sounders blew the match. Great first half from us. We got 2 goals early on. We're playing really well. It's probably one of the better first halves we've seen from the Sounders in a while. I mean, granted, like, it wasn't a perfect first half. We definitely let Portland have a few chances, but we played with grit. We played with determination. We were getting stuck in, things we haven't really seen from the Sounders in a long time. We were actually playing forward. We're playing very ambitiously, and it was just positive. It felt really good. Like, we felt we were up for the match. We started off the game really well, unlike times previously this season. We go into half. I wouldn't have made any subs or anything like that. I think things were looking really good in the matchup to that point. We go into the second half. Liao Chu gets a questionable second yellow card. I think it was a foul, but I don't think it was a second yellow card. I definitely disagree with the ref there. But the problem kind of goes back to me with the Chu situation is, why would you take off your shirt in the first place in the first half for when we were just up 2-0? If we were up 3 or 4-0, or your goal was in the 80 to 90th minute, sure, take off your shirt. But it's a boneheaded move in a game that has a lot of fouls. There's going to be a lot of, controversy surrounding a lot of, possible cards that are going to be put out. In the Portland Sounders Timbers rivalry, for a fact it's gonna get heated. Don't piss away one of your yellow cards on you taking off your jersey because you think you just won the World Cup. The game was still not over yet, even though we were in control and it looked like we could have won the match. He gets the second yellow. We're down to 10 men. At that point, it's down to Brian here. We're down to 10 men. We got to play damage control. We're still up 2-0. I don't want to see people blaming us tying the match because of the referee. Yeah, the ref probably didn't do a good job with that second yellow because it wasn't deserved second yellow. But at the end of the day, we were pretty lucky that minutes after that, Jackson Ragen fouls one of the Portland midfielders. It was a clear foul. He volleys it. He sticks out his studs right at his shin. We were really lucky that wasn't reviewed. So there was give and take there. But that is up to Brian now to see. We don't have much possession. Portland's starting to take over the game. So now it was important for us to make the right subs. Maybe we go back in the 5 in the back, take out the players that have kind of been ghosting in this game. But instead, Brian takes out probably one of our best, if not the best player in the match, Raúl Ruidíaz. We take off the player that was the most dangerous, who's our best player, who has a reputation of always scoring and playing his best games against the Timbers, and he was feeling himself. Raúl's ghosted for majority of the season, but this was one of his best performances so far, and we take him out. We play Morris up top, who Morris notoriously doesn't have he doesn't play well against the Timbers. Morris had a good game against Austin, but he doesn't play well against Timbers. Only has 1 goal, I believe, against the Portland Timbers. Not a great stat, and he did not play that well in this game either. The sub was bad by Brian. Bringing on Lodeiro, I think, is fine, but I think you try to hunker down. You try to control the game. You set the tempo, but instead, you let the Timbers set the tempo, and that is my problem. I'm not blaming Liao Chu. Obviously, what Liao Chu did was boneheaded, but he's young, and hopefully he'll learn from it, similar to when Jackson Ragen got sent off. What was it, last year with his it was way worse, Jackson Ragen's, but his boneheaded 2 yellow cards and got sent off. This is on Brian. You have a huge opportunity right now to beat a team that you haven't beaten in 5 years at home. The last time the Sounders won at home against the Timbers was back in 2017. Well, guess what? You just pissed away an opportunity to break the streak. You threw it away. The new assistant coach for the Timbers, he makes a triple sub, a lethal triple sub that changed the whole game. This was the moment that changed the game, was this triple sub. Brings in Blanco, Asprilla, and Boley. Asprilla and Blanco being 2 players that always turn up against the Sounders. They always turn up against the Sounders. We already saw it earlier on in the season with Asprilla with his crazy bicycle kick. First touch, he scores. At that point, Brian, you need to bring in Arreaga. You need to bring a defender. You need to switch up the game because now Portland are definitely feeling themselves. Then Evander, a player that is really freaking good. I mean, Portland fans might say he hasn't had a great stint so far in his first season. I mean, I just think the team just hasn't been that great this year around him. I think he's a class above. Pings one into the top right corner. Then Brian thinks to himself, let's make the sub now. Let's play for the draw. Pathetic. Pathetic. Now it's out of reach. I didn't see us scoring. I think it was more likely for Portland to score the third, and that's probably why Brian brought in Arreaga then. But it's just like the game was in our hand. We were up 2-0 for the Red. We had a huge advantage with those 2 goals, and we just threw it away. Brian, bro, you're not helping your case. You get a good draw against Minnesota. You scrape out a win against Austin. This was an opportunity to go 3 games, no losses. You could have gotten yourself 7 points. You could have probably rebounded the season off that. But this draw feels like a loss. It doesn't feel like we won. It does. I mean, it just doesn't feel good. It leaves a weird taste in probably all us Sounders fans' stomachs. Timbers fans, shout out to you guys. They probably, I mean, Portland fans probably feel right now they could have probably won the game. They probably could have won. We were lucky at that point to get the tie, even though we were up 2-0 controlling the game. Tonight's match, yet again, goes to Brian Schmetzer. We haven't beaten Portland now. It'll officially be 3 years because it will go up to next season where we don't beat the Portland Timbers. And it will go up to 6 years that we can't beat them at home. At some point, the finger's got to be pointed at the guy who's taking charge for what's going on. We threw away the Cascadia Cup. If we won those last 2 games, this game against Portland, next game against Vancouver, we could have won it. I believe Vancouver now officially win the Cascadia Cup. It's just, there's got to be questions, and it's just not. It was not a good performance by Brian at the end of that game. And granted, defensively, just boneheaded stuff from us, leaving Espria open, leaving Evander open to ping one from 20 yards out. I just don't know what to say. I'm just speechless because this was just a huge opportunity to be able to finally break all those records of not beating Portland since 2021, to finally beat them at home. And then we're just letting a team that just sacked their coach, got absolutely pooped on by Vancouver with their new interim head coach, to come here and go from 2-0 down to tying the game and probably could have won it. And we looked like the kids with their stolen shoes. We got our shoes stolen by Portland again. Like, we just look so lost. Chickens with their heads cut off, not kids with stolen shoes. Chickens with their heads cut off. That's what we looked like at the end of that game. We looked disorganized. We didn't know what to do. Everyone was looking at each other like, what's next? What are we supposed to do? That comes down to the coach. You got to have a system. You have to have a backup plan. You got to change things. If we're down to 10 men, you didn't change anything until we conceded 2 goals. We threw away the game at that point. But again, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Smash the like button on the video will make me feel better. If you guys hopped in during the watch along, big shout out to you. This is going to be clipped out from the watch along. So I really do appreciate that. But boys and girls, and we have a break. We get back on the horse. 7 games left in the season? Need to get at least, I think, 3 wins to get a playoff spot. It's not been great from us. You know, we had the momentum. We kind of threw it away, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I definitely think this was 3 points, 1,000% loss. This point feels like 0 points. It just doesn't feel good. Does not sit well. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and I hope you'll have a lovely day.